Hi everyone, and this is OT 104, and we're looking at Chapter 8, which is Records Management, and specifically right now I'm looking at alphabetizing or indexing an alphabetic system. All right. Now, we all know you have to file, especially in this day and age where we think that we don't have any more paper, but we do have paper. And there are filing systems that you're going to go into a doctor's office or a small company where they're still using paper and maybe even color coded and a whole bunch of other things. So we have to be prepared not only for the electronic filing, but also for paper filing. Regardless of the filing system that we're using, we always have to put the names in indexing order. So I want to make sure that I go over all of these rules with you and also the homework assignment so you don't have any problem. All right, so the first thing that we do is put all of the names in indexing order. Personal names. So that means we have Juan Juarez. Juan is the first name and Juarez is the second name, the last name. So Unit 1, all right, we always place the last name first and then the first name next. In terms of business, Milford Auto Repair. Milford is Unit 1, Auto is Unit 2, and Repair is Unit 3. Okay? So in this instance, we only have about 3 units. We have a person's first name and last name, and then we have a company name. When we have the person's full name, Unit 1 is the last name, Unit 2 is the first name. Companies without a full company, without a name like Juan Milford, it would be Milford Auto Repair. Okay, so that's rule number 1. Rule number 2. Okay, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, and symbols are separate indexing units. Symbols are spelled in full. The is the last unit. So we have the Dollar Tree. So we spell out dollar, Unit 1. Tree is Unit 2, and the is Unit 3. Okay, number, game, shop. Okay, number is Unit 1, game is Unit 2, shop is Unit 3. Stop and spell it out, go. Unit 1 is stop, Unit 2 is and, Unit 3 is go. You and me, you is Unit 1, and is Unit 2, and me is Unit 3. Okay, so make sure, with company names is very simple, they're usually 1, 2, 3. Okay, but make sure that when you have these symbols, you spell them out. Okay. Rule number 3, all punctuation is disregarded. So you see the exclamation point? So it's go Unit 1, team Unit 2, shop Unit 3. Forget about the exclamation. Look at this, hyphenated names. Mills Peters, that's the last name. Iris is Unit 2, and B is Unit 3. All right? Middle names or middle initials are Unit 3. Smith Jones Company, Smith Jones, one word, get rid of the hyphen, company. Tom's, and you see the apostrophe, we don't look at any type of punctuation. Tom's Foods. Tom's is Unit 1, Foods is Unit 2. All right? So you notice with Mills Peters, Iris or Edie's B Mills Peters. All right? When you have a person's first and last name, the last name is Unit 1, the first name is Unit 2, and the middle initial is Unit 3. Okay? Rule number 4, single letters and abbreviations. Initials are separate indexing unit. Nicknames are indexed as written. So we have single letters are indexed as written, and an acronym or abbreviation is listed as one unit. Radio and TV calls. So let's take a look. JAS means James. Okay, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, we have a first name, we have a middle initial, and the last name. Unit 1 is the last name, Unit 2 is the first name, and Unit 3 is the middle initial. Look at Liz P. Park. Park is the last name, that's Unit 1. Liz is the first name, that's Unit 2, and the middle initial is Unit 3. William A. Park. Park is the last name, William is the first name, and the middle initial is Unit 3. R&L Manufacturers. All right, separate. R is Unit 1, and is Unit 2, L is Unit 3, and Manufacturers is Unit 4. ST Limited, S Unit 1, T Unit 2, Limited Unit 3. Okay? Now, if we have call letters that have no space, then it's WFLEW, Unit 1, and the radio. If the call letters have space, W is unit 1, K is unit 2, unit 3 is T, and of course club is unit 4. Okay? And make sure you understand this. Go over it. Okay? Rule number 5. Titles, seniority suffix or professional suffix is the last unit. Numeric suffixes are placed before alphabetic suffixes. Single names with royal or religious titles are filed as written. Business names, titles, and suffixes are written. Index is written. The is the last unit. So what are we talking about? Let's take a look. The doctor store. Doctor, store, the. The is always the last unit. Okay, so now we have Father Ryan. We don't have the full name of Father Ryan, so Father is unit 1 and Ryan is unit 2. What do I mean by the full name of Father Ryan? He could be Father P. Ryan, he could be Father Dominic Ryan, and if he were, we'll get to that in a minute. Let me show you. Okay, Alberto J. Gomez. Gomez is the last name, so that's unit 1. Alberto is unit 2, and J is unit 3. Then we have Alberto J. Gomez 2. Gomez is, again, the last name. Alberto is the second unit because it's the first name. J is the middle initial, and then we have, he's in 2. Alberto J. Gomez 2. That's unit 4. The same thing with Alberto J. Gomez Jr., Gomez unit 1, Alberto unit 2, J unit 3, and Junior is unit 4. And notice how we alphabetize. When they're all the same, we go to unit 2. If it's the same, we go to unit 3. If it's the same, then we go to unit 4, and we see that the 2 comes before the junior. All right, very important that you notice this. Now, what happens when we have a full name and a title? Connie Louis, MD. Louis is unit 1. That's her last name. Connie is unit 2. And the title is unit 3. That is different from Father Ryan. Connie Louis is a doctor. That's her full name, Connie Louis. Father Ryan, father is not his first name. Ryan might not even be his last name. He could be Father Ryan Mulcahy or Father Ryan O'Donnell. Okay? But with that, or the same thing with Sister Mary. It would be Sister Unit 1 and Mary Unit 2. So if we look at Mr. Aiken's bait shop, Mr. is Unit 1, Aiken's is Unit 2. Remember, we don't put the apostrophe. Bait is Unit 3, shop is Unit 4. Sister Susan's Donuts, Sister Unit 1, Susan's, forget about the apostrophe, and Donuts. All right? Make sure you go over these. I'm just going through them. Okay? So we have titles, articles, and particles. An article or particle is combined with the name following. The spaces are disregarded. Okay, let's take a look at Mrs. Gloria de Gabriel. Notice de Gabriel, because this is her full name, Gloria de Gabriel, not Mrs. Gloria de Gabriel. So de Gabriel is Unit 1, Gloria is Unit 2, and we know that if we have initials or titles, that's a separate unit. Look at LeMay's Fine Foods. Certainly LeMay's is not the first name and Fine Foods is the second. LeMay's is Unit 1, get rid of the apostrophe. Fine is Unit 2, Foods is Unit 3. Mark O'Connell. O'Connell is Unit 1 because this is the full name. Get rid of the apostrophe. Mark is Unit 2. Van der Greff. All right, all of that is one word. Okay, no spacing. And Alexis is Unit 2. Okay? Notice that these are getting a little more difficult. Okay? Numbers in names. Numbers are spelled out. Numbers spelled out are filed alphabetically. Numbers written in digits are filed in ascending order before words. Arabic numbers are filed before Roman numbers. For inclusive numbers, only the first digits are used. Ordinals, STD, and TH are disregarded. A number linked to a letter or word is a single unit. Hyphens in numbers, any type of punctuation marks are disregarded. So let's see what they're talking about. 5-step cleaners. 5, you don't spell it out. It's 5, Unit 1. Step is Unit 2. Cleaners is Unit 3. Look at 5th Street Bakery. It's just 5. Forget the TH, Street, and Bakery. 50% discounters. 50 and spell out percent, and discounters is Unit 2. 65 plus senior center, 65 plus senior is unit 2, center is unit 3. 400 to 500 rustic way, 400, that's all, you don't need the rest of it. 400 rustic way. The 500 club, 500 is unit 1, club is unit 2, the is unit 3, the is always the last unit. 21 games, the Roman numerals are 21, is unit 1, games is unit 2. A1 cleaners, disregard the hyphen, so it's A1 unit 1, A1 unit 1, cleaners unit 2. Fifth Street shop, just as it is. Finally, 21 club, just as it is. 66, get rid of the hyphen, highway deli. Alright, make sure you go over these because you are going to have to do these for your assignment. Okay. Our names are indexed using the name in the letterhead. Alright, so let's take a look. First National Bank. Okay, remember we get rid of the ST, the RD, and all of that. One National Bank. American Quilts Museum. Avalon Church. Best Western Motel. Cincinnati Enquirer, does always last. United Steelworkers. University of Michigan. Western High School. Okay, that's easy enough. Okay, and we go on to Rule 9. For identical names, records are sorted by city names first, state or province names second, street names third, house or building numbers fourth. Zip codes are not considered at all. Okay? So, sorry. Let's do it this way. Alright, Sears, Abilene, Texas. So Sears is unit 1. Abilene is the city in unit 2. The state is unit 3. Sears in unit 1. The city, London, unit 2. The state, Maine, unit 3. Sears, London, Ohio. Sears is unit 1. London, unit 2. Ohio is unit 3. Notice, if we have the three same names, then you go to unit 1. I'm sorry, unit 2, Abilene. Then if London and London are the same, we go to unit 3. Tooley's, 234 Apple Street, London, Maine. Tooley's without the apostrophe. London, Maine, Apple Street. You don't need to use the numbers. Okay? Tooley's, 721 Crest Avenue. Tooley's, no apostrophe. London, Maine, Crest Avenue. All right? And for rule number 10, alright, this one is a little more difficult, and you would have to know the government names. So if we're looking at National Weather Service, Department of Commerce, all of these, the federal government would be United States. Then would be the department. So it's the Commerce Department, Department of, and then the last one is National Weather Service. So we're looking at the level of the government, the department of the government, and the service within the government agency. And this is for the feds. Office of Civil Rights, Department of Education, we know that this is United States. Education, Department of. Civil Rights, Office of. Bureau of Reclamation, Department of the Interior, you know it's the federal government. Interior Department, Reclamation Bureau, and of course in parentheses would be the preposition. Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Justice, United States Government, Justice Department, Investigation Federal Bureau of. Okay, you have to look this up because you're not going to know all of this. There are a lot of government, federal government agencies that have names and subdivisions such as bureaus, departments. If we're looking at state and local government, okay, so we know the federal government is the supreme law of the land. Then comes the state, and then comes the local government. So let's say the United States is our federal government. That's the Constitution of the United States. Then if we're looking at New York State, not New York City, if we're looking at New York State, that's our state. And if you live in one of the 5 boroughs, okay, Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, and Staten Island, that will be your local government. Okay? So how do we index? City first, Alabama. Education, Department of. City first, Allen, City of, Public Library. Allen, City of, Senior Center. Baker County, Licenses Bureau of. Benton City Hall. Benton Mayor's Office. Notice we do not put the apostrophe for the mayor. And foreign governments, well, this is going to be a little tricky. You're not going to be dealing much with foreign governments, but that's how you do it. All right? Andorra government, Austriacs or whatever, it's Austria, Republic of, and Bhutan, Kingdom of. That you wouldn't know this, you'd have to look it up. Okay, and I would never give you a test on this. Okay, so we understand what the government names are. All right, particularly the federal and the state and the local. All right, good.